You've shot someone in self-defense. Now what? Hi, you're probably watching this video for one of two reasons. Either you have in fact shot someone in self-defense, or you are just wondering what I have to say regarding this situation. Either way, let's get started. First thing first, if you have in fact shot someone in self-defense, and in doing so protected yourself or someone else, I congratulate you, and I am very glad that you made use of your right to the Second Amendment to the United States Constitution. If this is your story, you have done nothing wrong and have nothing to worry about, right? Wrong. Unfortunately, it's not that simple. Where to begin? Well, first you are going to want to educate yourself about your country's laws, as well as any possible state-specific laws regarding this topic, shooting someone in self-defense. Upon doing so, you will more than likely learn about many laws in which you were completely unaware of, and therefore ignorant to. As far as where to learn about these laws, I would suggest using one of the biggest, perhaps most useful source of information available today, the Internet. Finding answers online to questions you may have shouldn't be a problem. The problem is knowing the validity of the answers you come across. Confirming the truth of the information you may find is very important, because finding the wrong answer can actually be worse than not knowing any answer at all, because now you have been misled to believing something that may actually be the opposite of the truth. Because of this major flaw when it comes to whether or not you should trust the information you discover online, I strongly suggest you have a second and more reliable source to confirm or deny this information. Once you have studied the laws and outcomes of similar situations, you now have some thinking to do. Although you are not proven guilty at this point, you will probably still be treated as if you were some sort of murderer, and that's a problem. As unfortunate as it is, just hearing about someone shooting another human being for any reason, including self-defense, will make many people cringe. Keep in mind that although we are raised to believe that we are innocent until proven guilty, that is not likely the case, especially when in such a serious situation as this. In fact, the whole innocent until proven guilty thing is never mentioned in the United States Constitution, apart from the Fifth Amendment, which states, "No person shall be held to answer for a capital or otherwise infamous crime, unless on a presentment or indictment of grand jury, except in cases arising in the land or naval forces, or in the militia, when in actual service, in time of war or public danger. Nor shall any person be subject for the same offense to be twice put in jeopardy of life or limb, nor shall be compelled in any criminal case to be a witness against himself, nor be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, nor shall private property be taken for public use without just compensation." Although this sounds nice and is an important part of the Constitution, you are not guaranteed that what is written will help you in any way, unfortunately. In fact, many parts of the Constitution are often disregarded when it is convenient for a judge or another government power to do so, and most of the time, there is nothing you can do about it. Anyways, back to you being a murderer, only in people's minds, of course. If you are fortunate enough to be watching this video before you are forcefully dragged into jail and/or in a courtroom, remember this. There will be a court hearing for you. This is a very important thing to keep in mind at all times prior to your hearing, for this is the moment of truth. This is where your story counts, or at least where it would count in an ideal world. However, that isn't always the case. Your story is going to make a difference. It's up to you, and given there were no other witnesses, solely you. Don't screw this up. Remember, anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have probably heard this many times, but none of those times mattered. In fact, those words never mattered to you at all until now. Now those words can be your best friend or your worst enemy. Choose your words carefully. I'm not going to tell you what to say besides this one thing. You didn't shoot to kill, you shot to stop. This tells your audience, whether it's a judge alone or a courtroom full of people, that your intentions weren't to kill at all, only to stop. For you do not always need to kill someone to stop them. However, you always need to stop them before they kill you. Okay, back to now. Right now, during this time, the best thing for you to do is stay calm and do not panic. If you believe in a God, now is a good time to pray. From this point forward, there is not much I can do for you except educate you on some laws regarding the situation. For starters, some of the laws you are going to want to know are laws stating when you can and can't shoot someone. If you are not already familiar with these types of laws, I will explain them momentarily. For now, remember this. You are justified in using lethal force against another human being only if there is immediate and unavoidable danger of death and/or severe bodily harm to an innocent person. If there is one thing you learn from this whole video, I hope that those words are it. Right now may be a good time to pause this video and read those words again, because those words and those words alone define when it is okay by law to use lethal force against, i.e. shoot another human being. If your specific situation didn't necessarily involve an innocent person being in immediate and unavoidable danger of death and/or severe bodily harm, you may be in trouble. Whether or not this is your case, I am not saying that shooting the target person was necessarily unjustifiable, however. I'm not a judge, and therefore my personal politics can't really help you. Now about those laws I promised. There are many laws stating when you can and cannot legally shoot another human being. Many of these laws are known as the Rules of Engagement, or ROE for short, or the Rules for the Use of Force, or the RUF for short. Apart from the ROE and the RUF, you have some standalone laws on when it's legally speaking okay to shoot someone. These standalone laws are specifically the laws you are going to want to study, because they apply exclusively to you, a United States citizen. Some of these laws state how close someone must be before you can pull the trigger or shoot them legally. Some laws deal with an unarmed criminal, while other laws deal with an armed criminal. Something you are going to want to do is very carefully make sure you know of the laws that specifically are related to you and your situation. For example, if the person you shot was armed with a firearm, look up laws dealing with shooting people armed with a firearm. If they were armed with a non-firearm weapon, such as a knife, look up laws dealing with those similar situations. You may not know it right now. However, those situations are completely different as far as the judge is concerned. Like I mentioned earlier, some laws state a specific distance the criminal must be in order for you to shoot them. However, this distance is not applied to the situation if you defend yourself with a weapon other than a firearm, such as a knife, for example. Be sure you have read these laws thoroughly, and not only that, but be sure you know what they all mean and how they may affect you personally. One last thing I would like to bring up is the incident of the shooting of Trayvon Martin by George Zimmerman, which took place around this time last year on February 26, 2012. Remember when the story first arose in the news on TV, on the internet, in magazines and newspapers? Remember how it was portrayed? George Zimmerman was made out to be some sort of murderer because he was 28 years old, compared to Trayvon Martin, who was only 17. In addition to the age difference, Zimmerman appeared to be white, although he was really actually Hispanic American, while Martin was black, or African American. Their races shouldn't have anything to do with the situation. However, as far as the law is concerned, it was thought to be what the government calls a hate crime. Throughout all of this time, the media only talked bad about Zimmerman and kept trying to defend Martin, when in reality, Martin was the one who initially attacked Zimmerman. Did the press know that Zimmerman shot Martin out of self-defense? No, they didn't have all the facts. In fact, they didn't even listen to Zimmerman's side of the story until much after making the general public, being their viewers, hate Zimmerman and think that he killed Martin for no reason at all. Remember hearing how Martin was just a kid walking down the street eating Skittles when big bad racist Zimmerman shot him for no reason? That's the story we all heard. That's what was on TV. That's what was on the cover of People magazine with the caption, "An American Tragedy," and heartbreaking new details spread out across a random picture of Trayvon Martin's face. It wasn't until all of our heads were filled with this misleading information when we finally figured out the real story, the true story, of how Martin attacked Zimmerman first, and how he punched Zimmerman in the face first, then proceeded to repeatedly bash Zimmerman's head into the sidewalk, all of which while Zimmerman was trying to break free from Martin's reach. The story ends, as many of you already probably know, with Martin seeing Zimmerman's gun, a pistol, reaching for it, fighting Zimmerman for it, and screaming something to the extent of, "You're gonna die now." After a bit more fighting on the sidewalk, where Zimmerman's head had been severely beaten and damaged, Zimmerman was fortunate enough to draw his gun before Martin could steal it from him, and quickly shoot Martin once in the chest, stopping him and saving his own life. That's the true story, and even now, a year later, some people still don't believe the truth. Some people still insist Zimmerman is some sort of racist murderer, despite all of the facts proving that he acted out in self-defense, and that the stopping of Trayvon Martin was necessary to save his own life, therefore making it a justifiable cause. Now, we have been informed of the surveillance camera misreadings, where news station ABC originally said the video showed no blood or bruises on Zimmerman's head. However, upon further inspection, there was in fact a single frame of the police surveillance video clearly showing that Zimmerman's head was in fact damaged and that there were noticeable blood and bruises. What about liberal news station NBC and their scandal regarding the story? NBC Nightly News, NBC's Today Show, and NBC's affiliate network, WTVJ NBC6, all ran segments which purposefully contained digitally altered, very misleading, unoriginal clips of Zimmerman's 911 call to the police. These clips took Zimmerman's original conversation, which as follows. Zimmerman saying, "This guy looks like he's up to no good, or he's on drugs or something. It's raining and he's just walking around, looking about." The 911 operator then asked, "Okay, and this guy, is he black, white, or Hispanic?" Zimmerman then answered, "He looks black," and turned them into the altered versions of the same conversation. One of these voice clips NBC admittedly altered is as follows. Zimmerman saying, "This guy looks like he's up to no good. He looks black." I bet you didn't hear of that part of the story in the news, did you? You see, the whole point of me bringing up the Trayvon Martin and George Zimmerman case was to make one point clear. No matter what, whether in self-defense or not, if you kill someone else, whether it was legal, illegal, justifiable, or unjustifiable, you are going to be made out to be the bad guy. The unfortunate truth these days is this. Rarely are you going to hear an unbiased truth from the media. I wish I could suggest some form of unbiased alternative media or news station for you to follow and undoubtedly believe. However, I have yet to find one. As this video comes to an end, I would like to thank you for watching and hopefully you learned something from it. If you liked this video and would like me to make more similar videos, please click the like button below and let me know what you thought of it in the comments. This is my very first video of this type, and if the response is positive, I may decide to make more. It was really fun making this video, and I invested a lot of time into it, so I hope you all enjoyed it. This video is pretty much done now. However, there is one more thing I must tell you, a disclaimer. The disclaimer for this video is as follows. Please remember that all the information in this video are my views and opinions only. I am not responsible for any harm done because of this video. All information I included in this video are assuming that the weapon used to kill someone in self-defense was a gun which is registered to you, or otherwise a gun which you can legally own and carry. If you killed someone with a gun that you do not own legally, then the information in this video may not necessarily be useful to you. All information was intended for legal United States citizens only. If you are not a legal U.S. citizen, this information may not be useful to you. Trust this information at your own risk. I'm not lying to you, however, it is best to not take my word for it. Look this information up for yourself and don't believe random people online. Just because someone makes a video that sounds legit doesn't necessarily mean that the information portrayed is factual. Thanks again for watching and God bless.